Hello on this very frosty Saturday morning. Today I am up in a little forest. Well, it's not little actually, it's very big, called Dalby Forest, which you might not have heard of before because it seems like no one ever comes here, which of course makes it one of my favourite places to come. It's not too far away from Dalby Forest actually, which you might have heard of. That's one of the national forest parks, which is over that way somewhere. And if you're walking around there, you can actually see this forest from there. But no one ever seems to come here, so that's why I like to walk around it. So today I thought, let's come down here, let you in on my little secret, and have a nice walk in the sun. Hey pig. Oh, blimey. It's brisk today. Oh, I mean you can see hardly any clouds. It was a frosty night last night and my fingers are getting cold. Me and Poppy have come up here a lot actually, especially in the years after we adopted her, because it's sort of just far enough out of the way from where we used to live that you kind of felt like you were having a nice day out. And like I've said, you never really saw anyone up here, so it was just quite a nice special place to come and be walking along and just see a little track down there and go, yeah, today we're going to go down there and see where that leads us. As with all these walks that I end up doing, now that we've moved away, I don't get to come here as often, so this video is as much for me as it is for you. This is a way for me to reminisce a little bit. That hill over there, some eagle-eyed viewers might recognise that from a previous video I did where I went up to the Holly Walk and I stood and looked out over a spectacular view. You could see that hill on the other side of the valley that I was on. So we're on the other side of that big hill, so not that far away from the Holly Walk area. But that hill, it's got quite a funny story for it. My brother and I must have been maybe 10, 12, some maybe around that area, maybe a bit younger, I don't know. And we came up here with my dad one time. He drove up that hill, parked at the top of it, walked us a little bit into the field, then went, right, walk home. And we were living in Scarborough at the time, which is maybe about 8 or 9 miles as the crow flies from the top of that hill. And my brother, being the older brother and always taking charge as he is, no nonsense, went, right, okay, let's start walking down here. Started walking down the field. I was following him going, ah! We walked into a little forest and I cut my finger on some bracken or something like that, and I was like, I'm gonna die, ah! All this nonsense, and he was like, no you're not, shut up, keep going. And thankfully we didn't have to walk all the way back home, but we did walk a couple of miles through this forest. At the time it was one of those, like when you're a child and you go, oh god, this is the worst thing ever. And now I just look back on it so fondly because it was just such a fun little memory. Fun little memory for me, not for young me. One day if I have kids I might have to park them up on that hill and go, right, walk to Scarborough, bye. Well, I didn't think that it was forecast, but it looks like we're getting a bit of rain. Bummer. But I did bring a waterproof coat this time, so it's not all too bad. I won't have to wear the div poncho again. This spot right here, I'm always really cautious of. One time I came up here with my wife Millie. We thought, yeah, you know what, let's go and have a bike ride. We've got a couple of bikes, let's go out and do something fun. So we parked up, started cycling, we got to that point and just went, oh, the pedals were being a bit funny or something like that, I can't remember exactly what. And then we turned around and Poppy was rolling in something. And she rolls all the time, you've seen. But this time it was one of those like, I need to get this smell on me. I'm like, oh God, what have you found? And it was vile fox excrement. And it absolutely stank. and we were like, we've only just set off, so we'll just find somewhere to wash her off, it'll be fine. So we kept cycling up here, and the wind was coming in our faces, and Poppy was like, I'm gonna stick in front of you the whole time. So that smell, that pungent smell, just wafting into our faces as we were trying to cycle. Ugh, it was horrendous. It took days, actual days, to get that smell off her. She got shampooed, she got multiple baths. So now we keep an eye out, and I always fear that little spot, even though foxes aren't going to poo there twice in one go, but I'm always a bit worried. I tell you what, the weather has just done a complete 180. I'm not being stupid, right? It was sunny when I got here. I don't even know where the sun is anymore. I'm not even sure there is a sun. Hey, bloody hell. I've reached that point now where I've been walking for long enough that I'm getting quite warm. It's still raining, so I kind of have to keep wearing the coat. I've gone for the drape look, which doesn't really work. I am ensconced in a dilemma. Do I take off something? Maybe I take off the gillet. It's probably the smart call, isn't it? There's a police van over there. I do hope we're allowed to be up here. I've never been told I'm not allowed to be up here. Feeling a bit better now. The gilet has gone. Put it in the bag. Whilst I was derobing, I saw a police van just driving on one of the other roads that we just went past. Don't really know what they were doing, but they've turned around and gone back the way they've come, so fingers crossed they're not hunting me. I mean, if they are, I'm perplexed as to why. But you never know, do you? Who knows when they've accidentally murdered someone? If the police are now watching this, I haven't murdered someone. I'm making jokes. This is for YouTube. Please don't assault me. Or arrest me. I meant arrest, not assault. Good God. Got really in my head now because of that police van, but I'm thinking there's a serial killer on the loose up here. I was just filming something over there, and maybe I caught it on the film. It just sounded like someone went, ugh! I was like, so if this is my last video, remember me. It won't make it to YouTube because I won't be there to put it on YouTube unless Nelly does it for me. I'm just gonna keep walking and turning around, just going, woo, no serial killers. We're okay. I'm getting in my head. I'm being stupid. This is a lovely place to come and walk. Hopefully. Still no serial killer. We're okay for now. The sunnies have come back on, so I've got better vision and I'm prepared. If they come at me, I thwack them with the GoPro. Then I poke them in the eyes. So we're continuing this way, but just over this way is another walk that I want to do at some point. That takes you up over the moors to a little place called Falling Foss, which that's where I got married, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. If you're ever in the area, definitely go there. They've got a little cafe. They do scones that are just incredible. So maybe sometime next year I'll do the walk that I've got in mind that takes us from Pickering over to there. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that one. So we're just up on the highest part now of this walk. You can sort of see around me, we've got a lot of moorland. I'm not going to focus on what the big thing is next to me because that's a Ministry of Defence building, that's RAF Fylingdales. The hill straight over there though, on the other side of that is the Hall of Hawkham, which in another video that I did where I showed you one of the best views in all of Britain, in that view you could see the other side of the Hall of Hawkham. So you can kind of get a bit of a reference to where we are now, sort of in between Scarborough and Pickering, really, just sort of up on the moors, within the Bermuda Triangle of Scarborough, Whitby and Pickering, if such a thing existed. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but have you just been swamping in that there pool? Tell you what, it doesn't take Sherlock to figure that out, does it? This I don't understand. Why the need to roll afterwards? Surely the purpose of swamp doggery is to get as swampy as possible, not get as muddy as possible. Another day, another swamp dogging. Ooh, no, I don't like that. I don't know how else to call it. Another day, another showcase of swamp doggery from everyone's favourite swamp dog. Well, it seems our serial killer friend, whether he or she existed in the first place, has decided to hand themselves in, so they're not pestering us anymore. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to come up here today is because one of the first times I came up here, I came across this little stone, and at first I thought it was a grave, but I think, and I use that word with the most loosey-goosiness of terms, but I think this has something to do with land ownership back in the day. You can see BODCOMM. There's a few of them dotted around the place. So yeah, like I say, I think that's something to do with land ownership back in the day. I don't know if they put them around the outskirts of someone's land, or they just dotted them hither and yon around. But yeah, it was just quite a nice thing to stumble across one day. Little bits of history are nice, aren't they? Not too much history, just a smidgen, a smattering, a light sprinkling of history. Obviously, if you're into your history, don't take that as a negative thing. Each to their own. I won't yuck your yum. My preferred taste is a smattering, the tiniest little sprinkling of history. A light dressing, if you will. Okay, so earlier I was talking about Dalby Forest, and you can see it just over there on that ridge line. I think most people, when they go to Dalby Forest, they think of the visitor centre down near the bottom end, near Pickering. But for me, there's so much more to it, and I can't wait to do some more walks up there and show you. When you're up there and you're looking out over this spectacular view, you can see this forest, and it's just there right in front of you, and it's enormous. You can see how big it is. But then, like, I've been walking for a couple of hours, and I haven't seen anyone today. Saw the police, but they're not coming up here for a walk, are they? They're just catching crims. So yeah, it's a really good place to walk up here. I enjoy it. I just can't get over how quiet it is up here as well. You don't hear anything, just the rustling of air through the trees. It's beautiful. It's exactly what your mind needs every week. When jobs get too stressful and life throws stuff at you, you don't let the buggers grind you down, and you come up places like this and appreciate the silence. So we're nearing the end of the walk now. We've done a loop. You can see over there, that's the hill that my father left me. My father stranded me upon. A little bit further to go, but not too much further now, but it's a lovely walk. I'll definitely have to come back up here and do some more, show you some of the other paths that you can go, because it's just such an incredible place. In fact, there's an area just up here where one of the first times I came up here with Poppy after we adopted her, I just remember sitting and having a sandwich, and I just sat and looked out at the view and There was nothing special about that moment, no reason that my brain should latch onto it, but it's one of those that I keep coming back to time and time again, and it just holds a dear place in my heart, you know? I think because it just showed what life can be like when you're not even trying to make special moments. Hey, Pop. Hello, darling. Good boy. Hey, darling. Go on in. Me and my walking buddy. We've gone on so many walks together, haven't we, Pop? Thousands of miles with that dog. And I've loved every single mile with her. Are you a river dog now, Pop? Saved the one hill climb of the entire walk for the end. Oh, usually I do this the other way around. But today I've done it differently. Come on, Pop. Onwards and upwards. Oh, well, excuse my French, but I am je m'appelle tired. Well, that hill has knackered me out. But as you can see, we're right by the hill of fatherly abandonment, which means that the walk has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have enjoyed this video or any of the other videos that I've done. If you feel such way inclined, you could subscribe, you could give it an old like, you could share it about all your friends and colleagues, you could talk about me like I'm some sort of deity and people will find that confusing. But most importantly, have a lovely day. I'll catch you in the next one. Toodaloo. Say bye, Pop. She's so rude. Can't believe she didn't even say goodbye to you. Bye from me and from Poppy.